this video, I'm using Multicharts to look at my stock index portfolio and look at the long and short trades, break them down, see which long or short signals in each strategy is the culprit or the best winners, the worst strategies, and take a look at the statistics in this. And so I'm going to show you what I've done. I've used global variables and the Power Language Editor in Multicharts to do this. I've created two global variable functions called take long trades and take short trades, and I've added this to each strategy. And so if I want to turn off all long trades, I can set this to false and set the take short trades to true. By default, they're both true. So I comment out take long trades and comment equals false, and comment in take long trades equals true. And so by default, they're both true. But if I want to look at just one signal, one long or just the long side or the short side, in this case, I've commented out take long trades and made it false. And I have take short trades equals to true. And the way this works in the strategy code, I want to show you. So here is a screenshot of proprietary code and how this has been added. You can see where the take long trades global function exists. And you could do this with other things like number of contracts traded. You could change it in one place in a global variable. But I've added this line of code, if take short trades and then the rest of the code. And so before, this was not there. This part was not there, and this part was not there. And so with one function change, I can take all short trades and make them false, or take all long trades and make them false, and then run the portfolio back tester in Multicharts. This is the most efficient way to do this. I have a portfolio calculator in Excel, but that data has already been exported with combined long and short trades, so I would have to then separate out the strategies. It would be a lot more work to do it in my portfolio calculator. So I am doing this in Multicharts right now and taking a look at the short side. As you can see, take short trades is true, take long trades is false. So here is the combined portfolio results equity curve. You can see the drawdowns right here. Typical long-term drawdowns based on dollar amounts. This point right here is 2016, where most of our strategies are considered. We look back to 2011 and then 2016 for relevancy. We're at higher index levels. And so you can see we've been at these drawdown levels before since 2016. But since about 2018, these are higher than normal drawdown levels. But we are also looking all the way back to 2011. And so these are normal drawdown levels for the short side. Since 2011, we're going to look at the long trades after this, as well as the combined long and short setups. First, we're going to look at the performance summary. We're going to look at the individual signals as well. I'm going to show you how to do that. If you run this report, you can then look at each trading system. And so short trade 650, 495, max drawdown 98, 670. And then we've already looked at this. I like to look at the total trade analysis to get the average trade profit. 14,185 trades, 45.68. And then we can look at the overview of both longs and shorts. And now one thing I want to explain is that some of these strategies, well, if you combine the long and short results, they'll be separately, they'll be different than if you have them trading long and shorts on the same chart, because various rules like max daily entries, if you have a max daily entry of 1, sometimes it would take the long trade and then it wouldn't take the short trades. But if you have the longs turned off, it would take a short trade on that day. So they'll be slightly different if you separate them out versus trading them at the same time. So let's look at each of these individual signals. So if I click on this, these are just the symbols. It doesn't tell you which strategy, but you can take a look at the title bar on this performance summary and see this. And so it's going to be the title of the strategy is right here. So you can find out what strategy is after you click on it by looking right there. So this is Active Trader 2022. This took a steep drawdown. It's kind of rebounding a little bit. And so steeper than normal since 2011. So that's one to take a look at as far as the drawdown is concerned. On the short side, now I'm going to click on this, and I have to pull this up here. And so you see EVP1 Hasn't done so well on the short side, but still within its worst case drawdown. And taking a look at gap continuation, it hasn't done as well on the short side, but similar to the past. The problem with the short side is all these are struggling at the same time, even though they have diverse methodologies in this different level of volatility on the short side, higher index levels. And so you see the short side there. Normal drawdowns historically. I think we clicked on the fourth. This is the fourth one. Yeah, gap continuation 2022, 2, 3, 4. And then tick wave has done had a pretty rough time. So tick wave is a major culprit in this setup for short trades. So I'm going to make a note of that. Tick wave shorts. Tick pulse, pretty good. Very cyclical like this. It has a tight stop loss, so it has a low percentage of winners. But tick pulse is actually a strong strategy to trade based on what we've seen in out of sample. So tick pulse is doing well. Tick wave is the one that struggled. Tick reversal. These are the short sides on the tick reversal. This is a strategy that we created that was relevant from this time frame forward, and so it's been in a choppy downtrend, extra volatility, but not that steep compared to the past. And so it is one to consider, though, modifying for this type of market. And this is SR Counter Trend 2 V2. This is a low frequency strategy. It doesn't trade a lot, and you can see very cyclical nature of this. Let's see, I lose track of which one in there. We're on tick reversal 2v2, that we already saw that, and then we're on this one. This is done really well. SR Counter Trend 2v2M, also another low frequency strategy, done very well on the short side, very cyclical nature. This is Cobra 3 2022 1 minute. It's done well on the short side. It's withheld recent drawdowns from the past and those tolerances. This is momentum reversals on the short side. It's done really well. This is a strategy that was developed with a shorter look back from this time frame forward. When we developed and released this, we said it didn't work prior to this time period, and it's within that equity curve, trend line of that equity curve. And then 60-minute breakout NQ. This is long only, so no trades. And this is trend overlap. Also one with it's had a bigger drawdown than from the time frame that we're looking at. So the trend line of the equity curve is down, then it's up, and now it's choppy. And so trend overlap short and tick wave short are the two challenging ones. Tick pullback is long only, so there are no trades there. And then VTNQ short side also. So VT, I'm going to make a note of those. So my hypothesis is that larger stop losses would work on these, or entering in when this strategy bounces a little bit. So if you don't short it right away, if you wait a little bit for a rally to short it, delayed entry factor. And so we've gone over a trend overlap, and we've gone over tick pullback was long only, and we've gone over VTNQ, and then Robot 2022, it is long only. I'm going to run the long side, and we can look at the long side of these strategies. So this is VSD, one of our newer strategies within a normal drawdown developed from this time period. For this time period forward, this is a normal drawdown. And let's see, that is VSD. Those are the Nasdaq strategies. Look at the ES strategies. Cobra 3 2020 normal equity curve. Let's see. So yeah, look at the short side. It's a choppy equity curve. The long side is definitely better on Cobra 3, and Cobra CT3 is long only. We have 4 strategies in this portfolio that are long only. So SR Counter Trend 2 V2M did well on the Nasdaq, not as well on the S&P. And SR Counter Trend 2, this one's not done well lately either. So make note of those. Tick fader, not that well on the short side. This is Active Trader 2021, and it doesn't trade much. It hasn't traded much recently. It hasn't really traded much in the past year. So what you see there doesn't really represent recent trading. We have the short only side, momentum reversals. This has done really well on the short side on the ES, really well. So we've had a lot of good trades on that. And 60-minute breakout short has done well also, just taking the short trades and maybe not necessarily the long reversals. So I want to go back and find the momentum reversals on the Nasdaq and show you that. Let's see, I want the short only momentum reversal trade. Here it is. So the momentum reversals have had some good trades recently, and you can see that uptick in the equity curve. This market is a very, I guess it's a market that continues to reverse trades back and forth. If it's up, it goes down. If it's down, it goes up. And so that's the nature of this market, and this strategy is a lot different than a lot of other strategies. So it's done well on the short side, not as well on the long side. I'm going to run this report on the long trades, and I've made note of which strategies don't work. So I'm going to pause the video and set up the long side. I'm going to show you how to do that in the code as well, as far as changing the global variables after I cancel out all of these individual reports. So we've got all these individual reports here. So here is the code. I am going to set up take short trades to false, and I'm going to turn off all short trades. What I was doing was commenting them out individually. So if you want to test it back and forth over different time periods, it takes a long time to comment out and then remove the comments and add them to the long trades. This is a faster, more efficient way to do it. And so you can see here the long trades are set up to true, and the short trades are set up to false. And so that is what we're going to do now. We're going to run the back test. So you can see 6/1/2011 to 10/4/2022. I am going to turn this back test on. I'm going to time it to see how long it takes. So I'm going to click on back testing. I'm going to pause the video. We'll take a look at the long trades. We'll go through the analysis. Then we'll look at the combined results. And so if I click on back testing right here, it is starting now. And I am going to, so it's gonna calculating portfolio strategy. So I'm going to time it here to see how long it takes. Pausing the video. So here are the results for the long side. The net profit is about twice as much. It took about 12 minutes to run that. And then when you click on each of these, it took a little bit of time to calculate it. So I clicked on each of these, and it's been a few minutes calculating it before I turned the video back on. So we were not sitting here waiting during the video. It's kind of gone sideways on the long side, but within normal drawdowns. It's gone sideways before. See, here's a time period where it's gone sideways, and other time periods where it's gone sideways. So the long side is very consistent. The worst case drawdown has held up, and so something to consider is taking long only trades. We made a video about this before. Total trade analysis, $78.48 versus $48 on the short side. And let's look at the overview of each strategy. And so this is the 60-minute breakout short. It starts with taking short trades, and then it reverses to the long side. And so in the combined analysis, we're missing some. Once again, it's not the same, because oftentimes you have max daily entries. Max daily entries might be at 1. And if the strategy takes a long trade, then it's taking that long trade for the day. That's the max daily entries. Even though there's a short setup, if max daily entries were 2, it would have taken that short setup. And so if you turn the longs off, then it missed that first long entry and then took the short trade. That's just one scenario. Some of these alternate. This one alternates to longs based on a short signal. If it's a short and then it fails, it reverses to longs. And so let's go in here and take a look at each of these. First thing you'll notice is the net profit on this one. Let's take a look at this. SR counter trend 2 V2M. This must okay, the long side is negative, so we'll have to take a look at that. And so not many trades though. Total trade analysis on this is 50. So not many trades, and the total net profit is minus 312.50. So theoretically, you can add a strategy that is break even to down a little bit to improve your drawdown, but it's very low frequency. The thought being that the times that it does win is so different than the times that the others are losing. And so this is Active Trader 2022 within normal drawdowns, so very consistent here on EVP1. Long trades look very good, and we're testing during bull and bear markets since 2011, or uptrends and downtrends. Not a lot of real bear markets since 2011. In 2009, all the futures exchanges finally went electronic, and then we also had QE. So that's a regime change within itself. This is gap continuation 2022, very consistent on the long side. Let's see, I feel like I'm missing one. Double checking here. Gap continuation 2019, very consistent. And EVP1 and Active Trader 2022, so we're on the 5th NQ. See, it lists the symbol, but doesn't list the strategy. But once you click on the strategy, you can see the name up here in the title bar. Tick Wave has done really well on the long side, and so it did poorly on the short side. And here is Tick Pulse. Tick Pulse good on the long and the short side. Very consistent. Tick Reversal, consistent on the long side. Well, it's a little bit choppy. The equity curve's a little choppy, but the worst case drawdown isn't terrible. This is a top strategy that has kind of gone sideways recently. This is SR Counter Trend 2 V2. The SR Counter Trend 2 V2 is not great. Once again, this is a low frequency strategy, so it doesn't match on number of trades. SR Counter Trend 2 V2M, low frequency, not great on the long side. This one is really good. Cover 3 2022 1M, one of our top strategies. It made this worst case drawdown right here, or right at it, and then bounced right back. And so let's look at momentum reversal. Not as well on the long side, and so momentum reversal has done really well on the short side, but not as well on the long side. And 60-minute breakout in Q, long only, very consistent with the past. And we have trend overlapping Q, very consistent with the past, and a little bit of a drawdown. Tick pullback, nice results. One of our strong strategies did well yesterday. We have VT in Q, very consistent with the past on the long side. And Robot 2022, which might be a good strategy for today's trade on October the 4th. Very consistent. The last NQ strategy in this setup. Choppy but consistent on VSD. And let's look at the ES trades again. Are now, so Cobra 3 2020, very good on the long side. Not so, remember the short side was kind of so-so, very choppy equity curve long side. And so Cobra CT3, this is long only strategy, very consistent. SR Counter Trend 2 V2M, pretty much sideways. And so SR Counter Trend 2, this did terrible on the short side, does good on the long side. Tick Fader, not so good on the short side, good on the long side, a normal drawdown. And Active Trader 2021, this one hadn't traded in a while, so this isn't, none of these trades you see here are very recent, but it's at equity peaks. This is Active Trader as well. Let's look at momentum reversal on the long side. Hasn't done as well recently. These have done well on the short side, but not on the long side. So I'm going to make a note, I'm going to pause the video, make a note of the weaknesses in the long strategies, and then I'll turn the video back on and we'll go over the combined results. So I've made a note of the strategies on the long and short side that are the The biggest challenges here is what I am showing on the longs in the ES. You see these three on the longs, or the the longs in the NQ actually. This is trend overlap NQ, tick wave NQ on the long side. And these are the ES strategies on the long side, and on the short side these are the NQ strategies, and these are the ES strategies on the short side. So we're going to look at the combined results now, and I've taken screenshots of these equity curves, and so I am going to adjust the global variables and then run the report again. So I'm setting both of these to true now, so it's going to take long and short trades. Look at the combined results, and then we're going to look at making some adjustments. I'm going to do this just for comparison. I'm compiling these. Once I do that, the performance summary goes away. So here I am back to 2011. I'm going to do the back testing now on this setup. Sometimes you have to click it twice. And so it is going to start calculating now. You can see that there. You know, I've already loaded the data. Previously, if you haven't already loaded the data, it takes a little bit longer. You see it went straight to calculating portfolio strategy. If I change the dates on these, it'll say loading data, and it'll go through a loading data process. But since I'm testing it over the same period in which I've already loaded data, you don't see it saying loading data. It just goes straight to calculating portfolio strategy. It's a little bit quicker if it's over the same time frame. So I wanted to point that out, and so I'm going to pause the video here, and then we're going to come back in and look at the combined results of the longs and shorts. So these are the combined results. When you take a look at this, this is the equity curve. You see it made its worst case drawdown. We are at higher index levels, and it's not a huge worst case drawdown, but nearly double what we were looking at in the past, and it shows double on an end of day basis. This equity curve and drawdown curve are on a closed trade basis, which is different, slightly different than an end of day basis. So this is the total trade analysis between longs and shorts in total, 64 average trade profit. This does include $25 round turn slippage and commission. We can break it down by symbol as well. And so let's take a look at each one of these. The overview, this is AT 2022. This is EVP1. This is gap continuation 2019. Gap continuation 2022. Tick wave. Pretty choppy equity curve here recently. And tick pulse. So tick wave is the only one that looks pretty rough lately. Tick reversal. And Esther counter trend 2 V2. And Esther counter trend 2 V2M. So this one is Cobra 3 2022 1M. This had a worst case drawdown, but it's bounced back in a strong way, and so that's good. Let's see. So all these are pretty consistent. We can handle, we can handle these worst case drawdowns in an individual system when it bounces back like that. So momentum reversal, pretty choppy. Not my favorite equity curve, but it has had some really good trades on days when the other strategies have done poorly. And this is 60-minute breakout NQ. Making sure I got all these. So some of these are okay. I have them all. Let's see. Once again, the symbols are listed over here, and you can see the name of the strategy up here. And so it's here's trend overlap NQ, pretty consistent. Tick pullback, long only, very consistent. VTNQ. Robot 2022. And parabolic VSD. So ES. This was Cobra 3. And this one is Cobra CT3. Esther counter trend 2 V2M. Worst case drawdown. Esther counter trend 2. And this is tick fader, active trader, and active trader as well. And then there is momentum reversal. So once again, these momentum reversal curves look a little rough. The tick wave equity curve looks a little rough. All the others look pretty good. SR counter trend 2. V2M is at a worst case drawdown. So I'm going to note these, put them in the portfolio calculator, and we will go from there. But this is a comprehensive report on the short trades, the long trades, and the long and short combinations in Stock Index Portfolio 26. You know, it's a subtle drawdown because not any one system is doing terrible. It's not you know, just all kind of in a little bit of a drawdown. And each one of these, you know, there's a few that the longs or the shorts look bad, but as far as any individual system really blowing up or a group of systems blowing up, we haven't seen that. So just a lot of chop. The long side is much better than the shorts, and so conclusion really is to work on the short side. Short side is certainly much more different. I like to keep the longs and shorts fairly similar, but the short side is so different now than it has been in the past, and it makes sense to consider adjusting the strategy so that the short entry takes into account a lot more chop and maybe getting in not right away but on a move higher, taking a short trade on a move higher instead of a right away. So that is my conclusion. These are the reports, and I will have continued updates. This is the updated portfolio calculator through October the 3rd, 2022. First trading day of the month was October 3rd, and so big gain on Monday, October 3rd, and already making back the losses of September, but you still see this drawdown curve. It's really got slammed, and this is the end of day close trade equity curve. It's back to 37K, so back to these levels, and we stopped trading this in the micros. And there were some differences between the micros and the minis, where the micros did worse on September 22nd. Since that time, it is up 13K. So, but still, you know, one of the things you know through this drawdown cycle is to maybe look at these winning rates over the last 12 days, the winning percentage, and 25% could be a good time to start. 33% could be a good time to start. As far as stopping and starting, I don't have a conclusive, you know, conclusive setup. We had equity peaks. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 equity peaks in a row on 9/13, and then just got slammed for a worst case drawdown. Really choppy, and then it's come back up a little bit, about 13K since we stopped, and mainly just 2 big days here, 9/28 and 10/3. So we have to work on the short side and potentially just take long only trades or long trades and then some shorts. But I want to improve those equity curve, improve those algos on the short side. And so long video to explain all the strategy development and where we are in the Stock Index Portfolio 26 and what to trade. Again, Robot is one to trade today, and then potentially long-only strategies, and then updated longs. Hey, David Bean here. Welcome to Capstone Trading Systems YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to join our community of algorithmic traders. We are real money traders. We share our winning streaks, we share our losing streaks, as well as market updates, strategies, and coding tips.